Colleagues, I'd like to read to you a letter that I received from Superintendent Christy Perry of the Salem-Keizer School District. She says, I am writing to advocate for funding level of $7.5 billion for K-12 education this legislative session. Salem-Keizer Public Schools would be losing $70 per ADMW at the current proposed funding level of $7.235 billion. We have an extended ADMW of 51,179, which means the total revenue loss to us would be $3.5 million at the current proposed funding level. Our school district is still trying to rebuild after the massive cuts of $144 million from 5 and 6 years ago. The current proposed funding level will not give us the ability to make significant investments in our schools. It would not help us address overcrowding, aging facilities, old and failing technologies, outdated instructional materials and technology, and many other key supports to education. Under this funding level, we will need to reduce critical reserve accounts to implement full-day kindergarten. We hope you will consider funding schools at $7.5 billion. At this level, we could fund full-day kindergarten, preserve programs, and begin to lower class sizes. We could also begin to address overcrowding, old and failing technology, outdated instructional materials, and other aging infrastructure. The state expects more of our students in our schools than ever before. On behalf of the 40,000 students in Salem-Keizer Public Schools, I ask you to please consider funding the state school fund at 7.5. I'd like to continue on with one other thing. Per Section 8 of the Oregon Constitution, adequate and equitable funding, the Legislative Assembly shall appropriate in each biennium a sum of money sufficient to ensure that the state system of public education meets quality goals. When we look at the state's education goals, we should ask ourselves the following. Do you believe Oregonians should have the opportunity to develop their unique abilities? Do you believe that an excellent, multicultural, nationally, internationally, competitive, equitable education for every Oregonian is critical? Do you believe we Oregon students must be competitive and productive citizens? Do you believe Oregonians must be able to read, write, communicate, and make critical judgments? Do you believe Oregonians must possess math, science, creative, and problem-solving skills? Do you believe Oregonians must be stimulated to consider research-proven reforms and methodologies for the improvement of skills and knowledge of all students?
Excuse me, Representative, your time is up.
Sure.
Thank you. No further remonstrances? Representative Gilliam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Continuing on, do you believe Oregonians must be stimulated to consider research-proven reforms and methodologies for the improvement of skills and knowledge of all students? Do you believe Oregonians should continue to evaluate successful programs and foster their replication? Do you believe schools must collaborate with other government, private, and social service agencies to meet the needs of our diverse student population and their families? Speaking for the representative, I believe we should all believe that a strong and prosperous Oregon starts with educated children. If you believe, please support efforts in funding education first, at a minimum of $7.5 billion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.